Happy Flag Day, Foundation Friday, June 14th, 2024. Steve Sipress here, wearing my Rhino flag t-shirt. Got the flag, not really blowing in the wind. There's not a lot of wind here today in way too hot and way too sunny southern Arizona. And I got little, one of my little flag, I don't know, displays, whatever you call it. My beautiful wife Michelle and her mom both love making these things. We got them all over the place. Must have 5 or 10 of them in my office and all around the house. Some kind of plants and flags. I forget, an arrangement, that's what it is. It's an arrangement. Anyway, we have another in our fantastic multi-part series on the foundational book 2,239 Tested Secrets of Direct Marketing Success, compiled by the great Denny Hatch. We are in the chapter on offers. And here we have a tip from the all-time great, Claude Hopkins himself, author of Scientific Advertising, one of the most foundational teachers of effective advertising and marketing. Very tough, dense book to read, Scientific Advertising. I actually recommend you don't start anywhere near with that book. However, it is a foundational and a fantastic book that eventually every business owner, I was going to say who does any kind of advertising and marketing, but that's every business owner really ought to read and understand that book. Easier said than done, but you'll make a lot of money from doing it. And the tip from Claude Hopkins, and I've got two personal stories about this. Cheapness is not a strong appeal. Many people think that. Many people think, to get a better offer, I got to have a lower price than my competitor. That's the way I'll beat my competitor. That's the way I'll attract new customers, patients, clients, members, students to whatever it is you do. Wrong. Big mistake, as Claude Hopkins points out, and he explains, Americans are extravagant. They want bargains, but not cheapness. They want to feel that they can afford to eat and have and wear the best. Treat them as though they could not, and they resent your attitude. So, I just happened to be on the phone just this afternoon with one of my longest time clients, one of my favorite clients, and we were laughing about the fact that he used to have a nickname way back when I first met him, the King of Cheap. And we were laughing about that. So I was like, do you remember that? Because now he talks to billionaires and he hangs out with multimillionaires. And actually, I am flying up to Chicago to watch him get knighted. He will be walking the red carpet and have a dinner in his honor and be knighted. And of course, I am flying up to celebrate that happening with him, for him. It'll be my first flight, actually, since pre-shutdown days. Probably been 5 years since I've been on a flight, but for my longtime client who is getting knighted, of course, that is worthy of a trip back up to Chicago, where I lived for about 15 years. Can't stand the place, one of the most misrun cities in America, of course, so I'll be getting in and immediately getting out as fast as humanly possible. But I will be hanging out with my fantastic longtime client, Tim Johnson, who once called himself the King of Cheap. And I was like, Tim, you don't want to do that. You're going to attract all the wrong people. He is a leader in the building industry and real estate investing and building industry. And so he was like, yeah, but I can source out the greatest prices on all the materials for builders, and they're always calling me, and I can always get them the cheapest thing. I'm like, yes, but that's who you're going to be attracting. People who are cheap, people who are broke, people who don't want the best. These are not the right people. And of course, he has changed his nickname over the years, but we were laughing about that, and I hadn't even remembered that was a tip thanks to Claude Hopkins. Another personal snafu I made on this one was I once hosted an event where I had, it was by invitation only, so it was really high-level entrepreneurs were there, and I had someone who came from about 6 hours away, and early in the morning, this was an all-day event starting, 8 or 9 a.m., but early in the morning I looked outside, and there was a car parked outside about 6 in the morning. And I was like, that's right in front of our house. which is not really, maybe you can see in the background, we live in a cul-de-sac here, and there's no neighbor to the right, and the car was right there, right behind me. And I'm like, if it was really there to see the neighbors kind of across the street, and the other ones are around the cul-de-sac, like that really seems like somebody in front of our place. But why is the car there so early? And then I noticed that there was somebody sleeping in the car. So long story short, later on, he became a client of mine, and immediately I made a mistake. The mistake Claude Hopkins is pointing out here today, saying that if you treat people, Americans here, but I don't know, this likely goes for lots of people all over the world, if you treat them as though they cannot afford to eat and have and wear the best, they will resent your attitude. So I just assumed wrongly, mistakenly, foolishly, that he was sleeping in the car because, entrepreneurs, if you're one, you're a business owner, we live a life of financial ups and downs, emotional ups and downs, all kinds of ups and downs. And I just thought, gee, he must be a little down on his luck or having a little tough run of it here with cash. So instead of, driving and then staying in a hotel or an Airbnb or whatever, he just had to sleep in his car, man. So I assumed that without asking him, big mistake. And I offered him some advice, how to get some quick cash rolling in. A fantastic idea, by the way, of how to get quick cash rolling in that I had used very successfully before with a whole bunch of people. And he happens to be an artist. And I've used this specifically with artists, and I gave him advice, and boy, did he resent it. He was like, I got plenty of money. I don't need quick cash. What are you talking about? It was not good. And I won't go into all the details, but it just was not good. Certainly not a great way, not even a way beyond a crappy way to kick off a consultant-client relationship by basically insulting him, by assuming just because he slept in the car, it was out of necessity because he had no money. He's like, no, I got there like 5:45 in the morning. Your event's at 8, doors open 7:30. I'm like, I'll just crash for an hour and a half or so. I'm like, of course, that makes total sense. However, I violated this rule that Claude Hopkins is pointing out today. Do not treat people as if they can't afford the best. Cheapness is not a strong appeal. So you don't want to compete on price. There are many, many better ways to create an irresistible offer. Let's try and put this book down without losing my place. There are many better ways to create an irresistible offer than just to think I got to lower my price. That is about, if not the worst way to do it. If you want help doing it, I've got a free video on one of my websites that'll help you do just that. It's called the WOW strategy.com. If you go there, you can get that free video. I've got a whole ton more resources for you. I can help you out and get on my calendar. I can give you some real personal one-on-one help. If I ask a few questions, I can point you in the right direction, get you more resources. But the irresistible offer is the middle letter of the WOW strategy. The O in the word WOW stands for an irresistible offer. You do not create an irresistible offer just by lowering the price. Cheapness, not a strong appeal. Please do not make that mistake. I only made it once. Never will make it again. Hopefully you can learn from my mistake, and hopefully you haven't made it before and you will never make it yourself. Also, if you want help from me, there are other ways to reach out. Just shoot me an email, steve@stevesipress.com. Post a comment wherever you're watching this, reading it, listening to it, a private message on whatever platform it is. Any way you want to reach out. I love small business owners, professionals, entrepreneurs. I will help you out. And that'll do it for Flag Day Foundation Friday, June 14th, 2024. Steve Sipress here with my American flag rhino, my little American flag arrangement back there, and plenty more where that came from. We love Flag Day. Hope you do too. Hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I'll be back with you tomorrow on Social Media Saturday. Catch you then. Bye-bye.